The Lighthouse was written and directed by filmmateur Robert Eggers, whose prior work includes his debut movie The Witch. The Lighthouse stars Robert Pattinson as the mysterious Ephraim Winslow, and Willem Dafoe as brutal taskmaster Thomas Wake. Winslow is signed up for a contract job as a wickie, or lighthouse keeper, on a remote New England island during the late 19th century. Thomas is the keeper of the lighthouse, who spends his days ordering Winslow to complete increasingly difficult and dangerous chores. Left alone for weeks and with a storm slowly approaching the island, the two men soon begin to drift into madness and eventually ask the question, have they gone insane, or is there more to the lighthouse than meets the eye? Robert Eggers has been one of my favorite up-and-coming directors of the last decade. His debut film The Witch, although not loved by most of the general audience, is in my opinion a brilliant period horror film and a strong introduction to Robert Eggers' directing style. The Witch utilized bold imagery, strong gothic themes, and intense period-accurate dialogue to create a completely unique horror movie experience, and The Lighthouse is no different in those regards. The Lighthouse is brimming with bizarre nautical slang. The imagery is evocative of old sailors' legends, and there are thematic archetypes present that are influenced by both Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud. But for me, what makes the film so great is the atmosphere, the cinematography, and performances. Now, there are many ways that they created the oppressive and isolated atmosphere that you can almost feel when you watch the movie. For starters, The Lighthouse was filmed on 35mm black and white stock, which means this movie was not filmed in color and then transferred to black and white. The actual film stock of this movie is in black and white, which is almost never done nowadays in mainstream Hollywood. It gives the movie a truly unique visual flair and is beautiful to watch, but also makes it feel like an old German expressionist horror movie, such as Nosferatu. It just wouldn't be the same movie if it were filmed in color. The music, although subtle and consists mainly of sounds such as a foghorn, adds to the tension and dread throughout the film. Another component to the atmosphere is the aspect ratio. The Lighthouse is filmed in 1.19 by 1 aspect ratio, which essentially makes the film appear more narrow and box-like. Now, of course, this is no accident considering the themes of claustrophobia and isolation that the movie is conveying. When you're watching, you essentially feel boxed in just like Winslow and Thomas, who are stranded on this remote island with only each other to keep them company. To some viewers, this atmosphere will be frustrating, but to me it's glorious as it perfectly captures the spirit of the film. The master behind all this visual storytelling is Jaron Blaschke, who also collaborated with Robert Eggers as the cinematographer for The Witch. Jaron should be very proud because the cinematography for this film is simply top-notch. Every single frame has a handcrafted quality to it. There are multiple scenes where characters give lengthy monologues, which could easily come across as tedious if it weren't for the bold and engaging way this movie is filmed. A scene that instantly comes to mind is when Thomas curses Winslow. The camera is looking up at Thomas while candles cast deep shadows on his face and the wall behind him, which projects a creepy silhouette, conveying to the audience that Thomas is truly losing his sanity, if he had any to begin with. This kind of camera work elevates the film using visual storytelling and makes for a completely unique sensory experience. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Jaron's work in the upcoming Robert Eggers film, The Northman. When you write a movie that consists of only 2 human characters, the casting is everything. Robert Pattinson got his start in teen movies such as the Twilight series and Harry Potter, but for me, The Lighthouse is the film that proves he is an actor to be taken seriously. Pattinson's range is on full display here, as one moment he's quiet and reserved, and the next he's raging like a complete lunatic. Insanity is one of those things that's difficult to portray in a way that feels organic. Often it comes across as chaotic for chaos's sake, without feeling earned. Thankfully, Pattinson is more than up to the challenge, and delivers a believable depiction of a man who is slowly losing his grip on reality. His performance in The Lighthouse only makes me more excited for his upcoming movie, The Batman. Now, whereas I was slightly skeptical of Robert Pattinson's abilities before seeing this film, the same cannot be said for Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe has nothing to prove. The man is an absolute legend, and has starred in over 100 films throughout his career. When I heard that he was cast in The Lighthouse and saw a picture of him in character, I couldn't wait to see him in action. Willem Dafoe is brilliant as Thomas Wake, and out of the two characters, he is definitely my favorite. His dialogue consists mainly of nautical terms, which very much reminded me of Captain Ahab from Herman Melville's Moby Dick. Dafoe's speech can be hard to follow at times, but that's simply because his dialect and phrasing is so incredibly foreign to modern listeners. Thomas Wake is a very complex character. He can be downright cruel, but also kind and surprisingly funny, like being genuinely hurt that Winslow does not like his cooking. Willem Dafoe completely blew me away with his performance, and I think it will be talked about for many years to come. So those are my thoughts on The Lighthouse. It's an intelligent, bizarre, and unique horror movie that I can't recommend enough. I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like these. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you later.